we here? We are all connected to the stars. We are all one. Who do you want to be?
Hello, all you beautiful, lovely souls of the world. Welcome to Gaia Intuitive's YouTube channel, where we explore topics from spirituality, extraterrestrial contact, psychic awareness, and more. Today, we will be delving into the dream realms again. So please also remember to subscribe, hit the thumbs up. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I will be taking you today through some of the Essassani contacts that I have had. This will be including my astral experiences and also a few trance channeling and conscious channeling experiences. So I have been asked actually quite a lot lately, a number of different questions. It always seems to be a topic that people are quite interested in, the Essassani, which doesn't surprise me because their energy is a very loving, deeply loving and childlike energy. They're very playful and inquisitive. They absolutely love us and desire strongly to connect with us. I remember the first time that I had my first astral projection experience where I actually projected myself onto their ship. But at that moment, I ended up, I think I fell asleep and it didn't progress. However, the lead up to that and the like going through that sort of vortex and then appearing on the ship, that was my first experience. And at the time, I didn't know the connection at all. So as things progressed and my channeling opened up, I was able to, through trance channeling, make contact with some of these beings. Now, I have since learned that these beings, which I always felt like they were some sort of energetic counterpart, and I have since learned that I do have hybrid children in the Essassani race, and they very much enjoy the contact that we get to make together. Now, when I go into these trance states, probably 50% of the time I am in trance, and 50% of the time I make these connections, I am quite conscious. So the first time was through a deep trance state, and the being presented itself to me first off as a bright blue orb. He flew in and was rushing around the room, and I could feel the energy, and it was so loving. And every time I think about their energy, it just puts a big smile on my face because they really, really love us and thrive off that loving connection. So once I stood back energetically and allowed himself to express himself as he desired. And then once he calmed down, I was open and he was open to extend that communication and relationship a little bit further, where he revealed himself to me in his form. So he was what many of the photos online would probably depict fairly accurately. Probably about 4 or 5 foot, no hair, pale, very, very pale blue, almost with a grey tinge skin, bright blue eyes. They were grey blue eyes. And he, at that point, showed me a few things. I remember, so quite often with my interactions, I do sit back, and rather than worry about trying to get some message across to humanity or whatever, I really just enjoy sitting back and basking in these connections and relationships and experiences. To me, that's the special little moments, and I much prefer to focus my attention on the then and now and just enjoy that. So they often, I'm quite visual in my mind's eye, and they quite often show me things that they do and things that they enjoy doing. They do have on their ships somewhat of plant life that is like grown inside, which they enjoy running through and experiencing touch-wise and things like that textually. Most things, as they do possess that like childlike quality, they do find pleasure and joy in very, very simple and beautiful things, which is always nice. The second time I met one of these beings was in a trance channeling as well. Now, this time around, he actually appeared to me through a big rip in the wall. So there was like one slit and then another slit, and then he appeared through the middle. He was equally as loving. I believe it was the same being. He did tell me that his name was X Soul I, or I wrote it down as X SOL and then I. They brought a message to me, which I wrote down. The message was, we would love you to plant the seed, to open your mind and heart. In that moment, instantaneously, the soul is alive to search, inquire, and love. Blink, and it will become your reality. We are you, our children of the stars. I thought that was a really beautiful sentiment and message of inspiration, not only personally as well, for the collective. Now, these beings are basically us from the future. In terms of timelines, they do a lot of work jumping back and forth, correcting genetic imperfections and spreading their DNA throughout the galaxy to continue to thrive their genetic lines. Now, that doesn't surprise me either with my astral work. Once I understood my connection to the Essassani, I understood why in the astral I do so much jumping around on these timelines, which was something I'd always worded that sort of way. So that is probably it for the channeling side of things. Back to the astral realms, there was another time that I did get to go on board one of their ships, and I was actually shown and guided by a couple of my guides, and they allowed me to view what looked like a control room. So this room had nothing in it. It was huge. It was white. However, again, as I've said a few times, when looking within an intention at a wall, for example, with that intention and desire, you're able to then see beyond and extend beyond the limitations of those walls of the ship. So they took me to this room where I was standing, watching it looked like a podium, and there was an orb on top of the podium. there were a number of beings around. They were probably about 6 of them, and they were hovering around this orb. They looked to be analysing it and discussing things between themselves. To the left of them and a little bit further to the back of the room, there was a giant black like portal, and I have previously used that portal to jump from different realities, and that's something I've used over a long period of time now, many years. I've been using that way of projecting. So in terms of that experience, it really ended when I showed a little too much interest in the orb and the podium, and I did go over to try to get a closer look, to which I then got told telepathically by my guide, no, you are only to view this, and I was not allowed to become involved or get any closer, or even really have them interact with any of them on that level. So that is about it for my Essassani stories today. Now, I do have a lot more involving them, a lot more experiences, which I'd love to go into at another stage, but I like to keep these short and sweet. I would love to hear, I know that many people are making connections with these counterparts because they do hold our DNA genetically, and we have such a high chance of making contact with this race specifically. They are full of joy, full of love, and very keen to make contact with us. So if that is in your highest desire and in your alignment, then absolutely go for it. These Essassani beings, having such a strong connection to us genetically, they really feel what we feel, and the emotions and experiences that we go through and experience, they do too. And so it's a teach learning cycle. And as we are opening our hearts, they are also learning to open their hearts, and they're able to then provide us with the knowledge that we need in order to thrive and progress and, continue that communication with them, and open our awareness and consciousness in general. So regardless of, I think, whether, some people may not resonate with their energy or with their message in general, I think that we all need to use discernment when it comes to this kind of thing. There's a lot of people out there wanting to put beings on a pedestal and really look at them like they are so much more than we are. We are all one, and we have to remember that. And so my best advice would be to just focus your energy and your consciousness where you resonate naturally, what lights your heart, your soul, and what feels good for you. Take what you want out of those things and leave the rest. You don't need to necessarily take it all on board. And also, when you're making contact with these beings, feel free to explore and question things and use your own discernment. I have been in contact with my Essassani children, or one of my children, for the last couple of days now, and I can tell you that the surge of energy that I have felt, and in all my waking moments, I have felt very alive, and there has definitely been an air of uplifting and childlike joy and inquisitivity that has been surrounding me that I feel all the way through to my heart. So personally, I really, really love the connection I have with these guys. And it's something that I value and treasure and very much respect. I hope that you guys enjoyed this episode. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit the thumbs up if you would like to see more content, and I'll see you soon. Bye.